Welcome back to White House Field. Tyler Henry and Colin Casey, joined by a very special guest. It's ex-Harwich Mariners / Orleans Firebird, Jacob Hurtubise. And Jacob, thank you so much for coming on the broadcast. We really appreciate having you on.
Absolutely. Good to be here.
So you had a bit of an interesting journey as, again, you were with Harwich early in the season, a little bit of a log jam in center field. So you ended up playing with the Orleans Firebirds for the latter half of the year. And how was that for you being down there in Orleans?
Oh, it was an awesome experience being down there with Coach Kelly and all the rest of their coaching staff. I had a phenomenal time just being able to come play baseball up here at the Cape. It didn't really matter what team I was playing for. I just wanted to make sure that I was playing baseball, and I had fun doing it.
Absolutely. You've been regarded as one of, if not the fastest guy in the CCBL. And now that you've seen a couple of these other guys and the kind of speed they bring to the table, do you agree with that statement from what you've seen this season?
Oh yeah, I knew that I would compete with anybody that was up here. Obviously, coming up here with Chris Gallen for Harwich and Joey Weimer, and then right after I arrived, Max Marshak, I was like, oh my gosh, we could have one of the fastest teams up here in the Cape.
As Pat Winkle swings the first pitch and sends this into left field, this one drifting into foul territory, and that'll drop out of play for the first pitch of the at-bat. So, you talk about the speed, you talk about the pitching too. I mean, going from Army, where you set, I believe, both the single-season walk and single-season stolen base record, and then coming out to the Cape League, and how hard is it to adjust to just this sheer amount of talent that they have out here pitching-wise compared to other leagues in college?
Yeah, it was a little bit of adjustment at the beginning, especially guys just being able to pound the strike zone very consistently. I'm normally a very patient hitter, but coming up here, I found that the biggest adjustment that I had to make was just being aggressive early. Guys, when they can get ahead 0-1, 0-2 on you, they're going to be able to have that out pitch to either get you to make weak contact or to strike you out. So,
as the 0-2 pitch misses high to Pat Winkle.
And Jacob, in your debut for the Orleans Firebirds, you stole 4 bases, correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, so did you feel any hesitation to kind of stay aggressive on the base pass even after becoming a part of a new team like Orleans?
No, not at all. I think just being who I am on the baseball field is very important. That's what's going to help teams win ball games, just me being able to utilize my speed. So I had no hesitation when going over to the new team.
A lot of these guys, they get into a position where at the tail end of the season, they basically have their plane tickets ready to go. They're checked out, a lot of them, and Orleans, of course, took a tough loss to this YD team in round 1 of the playoffs, but you're sticking around here supporting the Harwich Mariners. What's kept you here on the Cape here, even after your team at the end of the season was eliminated from contention?
So I'm still living in Harwich with President Mary Henderson, and she's been begging me to keep staying every day, and I'm like, all right, one more game, I'll go watch my boys one more time. So I'm still good friends with a lot of these guys. Made a lot of good friends while I was here. So it's been fun being able to take a more relaxed approach and just kind of watch baseball after playing 100-plus games from the college season in Cape.
And, of course, again, just with everything that has been done this year, one of the biggest things that makes the Cape Cod League special is Max Marshak comes to the plate here is the host family. So having a chance to stay with Mary Henderson, what has that been like for you and for all the guys to know that they have a place to stay here on the Cape throughout the summer?
Mary has been awesome. She's honestly, I came in here and she's just treated me like part of her family, along with Biz, and they have a couple other people on the block that are in their family, and they've just been so awesome in welcoming me. And the rest of the host families, I know that I haven't heard any complaints since I've been here. So everybody's it's all a part of the experience, and it makes it a really good one.
So as, again, Max Marshak coming to the plate, one of the fastest guys for Harwich. He'll take this one upstairs for ball 1. What is your favorite memory throughout the course of the 2019 summer campaign? And if you have to pick 2, you can technically cheat and go with 1 with the Mariners and 1 with the Firebirds. But what made the summer so special to you personally?
So the one memory that I remember was when I was here on July 4th. That was pretty cool. All the guys kind of like giving me a pat on the back, like, this is your day, this is your day. We had some fun with wearing some headbands, and that just made it cool. It's something that you don't really get in the college baseball season. And then playing for the Orleans Firebirds just in the playoffs, we had a couple good runs or shots at YD. Just came short, but being able to come this far, make the playoffs, and just meeting all new players from across the country. I think that's been my favorite part so far.
Yeah, it's always a blast, and especially as you mentioned, just players from all across the country, all different conferences. As Marshak swings through that one for strike 3 for the second out of the inning. And you talk about it going from Harwich to Orleans, making that transition. It is kind of very quick, and was it easy for you, just kind of as far as the logistics go, getting everything turned in, getting everything else new, and basically starting the very next day with the Firebirds?
Yeah, it was easy because I live with Mary, so she's in charge of giving everybody their uniform. So I just said, well, here you go, Mary. Here's my stuff. And she was sad to see me go, but she asked me if I wanted to stay here in Harwich with her or go to a different host family in Orleans. And I had grown accustomed to living with Mary at the time, so I didn't want to leave her, and it just made things super easy.
And really not too bad of a commute from Harwich to Orleans. That's the other thing that is big for a lot of these guys. I'm trying to remember, did you play in a different summer league last season?
I didn't.
Or last summer?
The last 2 summers have been full of military training for me, so this has been my first season being able to play summer baseball.
So that's actually one of the things I wanted to get to, and I will here as the 2-0 pitch is popped high in the air by Hal Hughes. This one will have a chance to get out as Cardenas settles under it and finally will make the catch for out number 3. Before we let you go, take me through what that was like. You talked to Alex Weiner before about this, your military training basically right up until you came here to the Cape. What did that consist of for you, and just what was that whole experience like?
Yeah, it was 3 weeks out in the woods. So we were running missions, Army tactical missions. It's part of our training for what we're going to be doing after our time at West Point. So we would be running missions every day, and that's basically it. Living out in the woods, sleeping out in the woods. It was rough on the body, and so coming out here to play, compete against some of the best guys in the country was tough at the beginning.
Yeah, and then the very next thing you know, you're out here on the beach. So
yeah,
well, a heck of a summer for you, Jacob. We appreciate you sticking around. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you so much for your service. We really do appreciate it. Have a great day, and we'll see you around the next couple of days.
Thank you very much.
That is Jacob Hurtubise, again, the ex-Harwich Mariners outfielder, Orleans Firebirds outfielder, and University of Army player. So when we come back, we will have for you the 6th inning of play. Harwich still tied up 1-1 here on the Mariners YouTube Network.